Greetings. Now let us understand the various methods of detecting adverse drug effects. The various methods which includes for detection of adverse drug effects, cohort studies, spontaneous case reports, vital statistics and record linkage system, and we will see and we will try to understand adverse drug reactions reporting and management. No drug is absolutely safe. By the time a drug is introduced into the market, most of the pharmacological effects are known. Adverse effects resulting from excessive pharmacological activity are well documented, but unpredictable adverse effects are not identified until it has been subjected to much more widespread use. So as to detect the unpredictable adverse drug reactions, different approaches are used. What I was telling you from previous classes, if you take any drug, even a paracetamol is not found to be safe. The label will be written on the paracetamol that paracetamol can cause hepatic necrosis, liver cirrhosis. So if you take into account, no drug is actually safe. And when the drug has to be released into the market, there are many stringent procedures that has to undergo. Why the government or the drug regulatory authorities, why they are imposing stringent rules and regulations when the drug want to release into the market? Because they want to confirm the safety. They want to confirm first the safety parameters of the drug, finally the efficacy parameters, the effectiveness parameters in the large amount of population. Okay, we know that pharmacological activity, that is excessive pharmacological activity, are well documented. They are well documented. But we don't know about the unintentional or unpredictable adverse effect of the drugs, how it behaves, the same drug, how it behaves in the large population. Widespread use means in the large population, how the drug behaves one and the same way in the large population when it is used in uncontrolled environments. I'm telling the word uncontrolled environment. Controlled environment, the drug has to undergo the clinical testings. First, testings will be done in the animals. Bioassays will be carried out in the animals. Then later on, conforming the safety and effective parameters, it will be studied in the volunteers. There are many phases of the drug reaction. There are many phases of the studies, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, finally the phase 4 trials. That is post-marketing surveillance. So we are not going to the phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 and phase 4. But we will study in brief how the drug is launched into the market. Before launching, which all the steps has to be taken from the drug regulatory authorities. They impose certain rules and regulations on the manufacturers. So why they are imposing the rules and regulations? Because they want the drug should be safer, and meanwhile drug should behave in the same manner how it is behaving in all the individuals. So as to detect the unpredictable adverse drug reactions, different approaches are used. So you are using different approaches for all these things. Different approaches are used for all those things. Now we will see and we will try to understand which are all the different approaches for detection of adverse drug effects in a brief. Now we will see the different approaches for or different methods of detecting ADRs, adverse drug reactions. Cohort studies, spontaneous case reports. What is meant by spontaneous case reports? How that will enable to detect ADR. Vital statistics and record linkage system. How the statistics will be helpful and how the record linkage system will be helpful in detection of ADRs. And finally, we'll be studying about, in glimpse, about case control studies. The various methods are given below. This is used when groups of drugs receivers are studied. We are studying about cohort studies. So this is used when groups of drug receivers are studied to evaluate outcomes after drug exposures. It is used when detection of events occur with frequency of more than 1 in 500 exposed. So what happens? You are evaluating outcomes after the exposure of the drug. What is the outcome? So outcomes may be always, it should be beneficial to the mankind. No drug should not cause any harm to the patient. That is the ultimate objective of the regulatory authorities. It is used to detection of events occurs with frequency of more than 1 in 500 exposed, means they detect the events, adverse events, that what is the frequency of exposed and how many exposed patients have been experiencing some kind of unwanted effects or drug reactions. So they expose they want to check the frequency of more than 1 in 500. They want to confirm whether the drug is behaving in the same manner to all the population. It involves short-term and long-term clinical trials. Both short-term as well as long-term clinical trials are conducted. After approval of clinical trials, phase 1, phase 2 clinical trials, and lastly the phase 3. As the phase increases, the phase 1 is conducted in the healthy volunteers, phase 2 and phase 3 trials will be conducted in the diseased volunteers. And every phase, the trial subjects will be increased. And all this happens in a controlled situations, in a controlled environment, where there will be inclusion and exclusion criteria. Okay, there will be inclusion and exclusion criteria. Some patient population is avoided. They will be not taking all the patient population. It is in controlled settings. That is called to be as clinical trials. Later on, drug is released into the marketing. That is called as post-marketing surveillance, PMS. Now, drug has to behave in the same manner how the drug is behaving in the clinical trials. The drug has to behave in the same manner to establish the safety and efficacy parameters of the new drugs. So, cohort study design. In the future, we get information on the disease. Okay. In the future, we get information on the disease. How many get the disease and how many did not get the disease. Okay. That is about cohort study design. At present, we have information about the risk factors, and in future, we have outcomes. Presently, we know about the risk factors which are involved, and in future, you are getting the outcomes, the results. Okay, outcomes are nothing but results of the drug therapy. At the starting of the study, we have 2 groups of the people, and at the end of the study, we have 4 groups of the people. Now, this is the cohort study design. Okay, this is the cohort study design, and you can see the arrow mark pointing here. It means study begins at this stage. Okay, study begins at this stage. Now, as I told you, you are finding the study of population free of diseases. And presently, there are 2 factors involved. How many get the disease and how many without disease. That is, at present we have about risk factors, and in future we have about outcomes. This is present and this is the future. This is the time sequence. Okay, this is the time sequence. The time sequence. runs from present to future. In future, we get information on the disease, how many get the disease and how many did not get the disease. So risk factor present, risk factor absent in the study population. In the risk factor who are present, one is having the risk factor. What is the outcomes? Disease and no disease. Okay, disease and no disease. So, and in risk factor absent, disease with no disease. So at the starting of the study, we have two factors. Okay, starting, we have two factors involved. We have two factors. At the end, we have the four factors involved. We have four groups, both in risk factor present and risk factor absent. So this is the classical example of the cohort study design. They are checking the population in a design population. The cohort or the group of subjects, they are the patient population, study population free of diseases. You want to check the free of diseases. How many remain disease free? Okay. The second example for detection of adverse drug reactions is vital statistics and record linkage studies. Now, the details of the cause, okay, let me take this. The details of the cause of death as recorded on death certificate or of hospitalization as recorded on discharge letter are routinely collected and analyzed. Okay. It gives an early warning of epidemic of drug-related disease. Now you will come to know about the disease which is related to the drug. Record-related studies can be used to create effects in search for drug-induced disease. So what happens here? When you find the record, you are linking one record with other records. By statistics, you will come to know whether it may be the death certificates or the hospitalization records, that is discharge letter, that is routinely collected. You will come to know the statistics of the things. How many are exposed to the drug and how many suffered from adverse effects. And in case of record linkage system, what happens? They are linking the records from one record to the other record. Suppose if I want to say this one about record linkage system, I will use, suppose there are two things. Okay. Suppose this is a pharmacy. Okay. And if I want to tell about record linkage system or studies, now they are collecting a pharmacist, especially, which happens, all this scenario, which happens in abroad situation, in abroad, because they have the system of automated databases for record keeping and record maintenance. So they maintain the patient medication record, okay, in developed countries, in USA, UK, they have that kind of the system. So what happens now, the pharmacy, whenever he dispenses the drug now, the pharmacist is dispensing the medications now. Okay, the pharmacist is dispensing the medications. The pharmacist is dispensing the medications. Okay. Something went wrong. Yes. The pharmacist is dispensing, let me write here, the pharmacist dispensing. They are trying to understand record linkage system. Okay. Now, what the dispensed medication, he'll be having a record. The pharmacist will be having the record that is nothing but patient medication record. Okay. It's called to be as the patient medication record. What he is doing? He is correcting and he is keeping the record, which is said to be as patient medication record. Now, assume that this drug has been given, some drug has been given. Take the example of some drugs which they are testing or they are using and they want to check the adverse effects of the drug therapy. We want to think about record linkage system. So, a record linkage system is nothing but, record linkage system, the record linkage system is nothing but what you do here, you link one record. So the patient, now you want to test the drug name is pioglitazone. We are using the record linkage system. Drug name is, think that it is pioglitazone. Let me write in text area. Drug name is pioglitazone. Pioglitazone. And you want to check how many patients are given pioglitazone. That can be understood by pharmacist, where he is maintaining the patient medication record. So how many patients have taken pioglitazone? That is one record. The patient medication record. This is one kind of record. This is one kind of record. How many patients have been given pioglitazone? And one more record is there. One more record. One more record. You are going, and that record is nothing but how many people are exposed to pioglitazone and how many people suffered from bladder cancer. That one you can find the data in cancer data, that is bladder cancer data. So this is the data. Which data it is? It is a data which is nothing but the bladder cancer data. And you are linking this. So what you are doing here? You are linking. Let me take. So you are linking this record and you are linking with this record. How many patients are exposed to pioglitazone drug therapy by patient medication record, and how many people with the bladder cancer report, where you can get in bladder cancer studies, how many people are exposed to pioglitazone drug therapy and how many people are suffered from bladder cancer, the adverse effects of the pioglitazone. Pioglitazone is given for diabetic patients to control diabetes. And how many people, diabetic patients, they have taken the pioglitazone drug therapy, and how many people, diabetic patients, they suffered with the bladder cancer. That is nothing but linking of one record with other is nothing but record linkage system. Next, we will study about spontaneous case reports. Next method of detecting adverse drug reactions are the spontaneous case reports. The word itself is self-explanatory. Spontaneously, rapidly you are reporting the case. It is a single individual case, is said to be as case reports. The single individual cases where they are exposed to a drug therapy and they are experiencing some type of adverse drug reactions, drug-related diseases. The physicians or the prescribers, they suspect that there is a drug induced and it is drug related only. So what they do, they may write a letter to the medical journal or a manufacturer of a drug. What happens in Indian scenario, there is a organization called as PVPI. I should say there is an organization called as PVPI. PVPI, that is Pharmacovigilance Program of India. So all the hospitals, they'll be having AMCs followed by PVPI, Adverse Drug Reactions Monitoring Centers. From Adverse Drug Reactions Monitoring Centers, it is reaching to the PVPI. And PVPI, they may send all the case reports regarding about adverse effects to the Uppsala or Uppsala Monitoring Center, which is the main body for detection. And Uppsala Monitoring Center, what they does, if they found that the data from the PVPI or AMCs, they may send the data to the concerned company. And when the concerned company get the information about the adverse effects, regarding about adverse effects, and they may organize, or regulatory bodies may see, and if the adverse drug reactions are more number, frequency is more, they may give a stop order, and again the phases of clinical trials may be conducted again to see the safety and efficacy parameters of the drug therapy. Because drug has caused some problems in other population, so again they may ask for, again the regulatory bodies, they may ask for to conduct test again to provide safety parameters. Okay. By this means, other prescribers are alerted to the possibility of drug disease relationship. So what happens now? You know about the frequency, you know about the consequences of the drug therapy. You are alerted. Other prescribers, they give the notification. Drug regulatory authorities, they may give a notification that this drug is having this kind of side effects. Okay, so it may be alerted. So other prescriptions or prescribers, they may be alerted. So spontaneous reporting agencies are set up to collect such case reports. Although the resulting information collected gives no idea of frequency with which a given event is caused by a drug, it indicates that a number of prescribers feel that the event is possibly drug related. Okay. The last study is case control studies. Okay, the final method of detecting adverse drug reactions is case control studies. This is used when patients with suspected drug-induced disease are compared with a reference population. So we are studying about the case control studies. Here, the study begins at this moment. Okay, from here, and sequence of time is from in this manner. I will show you. So the study begins here, the time sequence runs here. Okay. Earlier, in the present stage, okay, presently, there may be, this is a study population, study starts here, present. There may be two groups. One is the cases, which is with the disease, controls, no disease. At the end of the study, there may be four groups. There may be four groups. One is how many in cases the factor is present and absent. Cases, again you will get two groups, and in controls with no disease, and how many factors present and absent. How many they are exposed, how many they have disease and they have the risk factor, and without risk factors, factor absent. How many with the controls, no disease, and they are having the factors present and absent. Okay. So this concludes about case control studies, where cases are nothing but they have the disease, control group of the population, they are the reference population with no disease. And you expose them, you study and you come to the conclusion, these are exposed and this is the risk factor, and these are exposed, these are not exposed, and these are risk factors again. Risk factors present and absent, both in controls and cases. Okay, that concludes the case control studies and the method of detecting adverse drug reactions. Thank you.